What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are back in Forza Horizon 2 taking a look at the new DLC on launch day. Now, the first car we're going to be taking a look at is the Beetle Grc, or basically Global Rallycross Beetle, and this is driven by Tanner Faust, and this thing is a rocket. It is ridiculous. The launching capabilities and braking capabilities of this car on dirt are absolutely off the charts. Let me show you guys real quick, because this thing is ridiculous. The gearing is incredibly close and short, too, so you're never at a loss for acceleration. I mean, this thing is crazy once it gets into boost. I like to brake a little bit before the jumps because it likes to pitch backwards with the engine being in the back and everything, but other than that, this thing just goes. And kind of a nifty little feature about this car is that since it's a sequential shifter, you can see when you go into the interior view that the shifter is literally right there, and you can see the actual driver's hand go straight to the shifter. I don't know, it's kind of a cool little thing that they actually did with this car. The only problem with the really short gearing is the fact that you top out at about 148, 150, round about there, and then it just starts bouncing because it's got so much power, but there's very little it can do with it because of the gearing. Like I said, the gearing is ridiculously short. It's made for rallycross, so you don't need ridiculously long gears. In fact, you want shorter gears for rallycrossing. Let's see what we can do here. Oh God, blind hill, and I just couldn't see him. Wasn't enough time. Another AI in my lane as well, or drivatar. I mean, you could just tap the e-brake and then just floor the throttle, and it will, well, if you don't run into another drivatar, geez. But the thing is, before a corner, you can just tap the e-brake and floor the throttle, and it will pull you right around. It has absolutely no problems getting traction in the dirt. And, I mean, the only thing is, when drivatars are aiming for you, it kind of makes it a little bit tricky. But other than that, this thing will fly. It's ridiculous. I know I'm just kind of saying this thing is crazy and ridiculous and all this stuff, but I mean, when it comes down to it, you would think that the balance would be a little bit off just because of how it's built and where the engine is and the platform that it's based on, but it's not. It actually feels very composed, very controlled. It almost feels a little bit frantic at times, though. That's the only thing that you have to get used to, is it feels like it wants to go kind of all over the place, but once you get used to that fact, it's actually a lot easier to drive than you might think. It's a lot easier than a lot of the pre-made rally cars that are already in the game, just because of the fact that it's, I don't know, something about the all-wheel drive system is it's very willing to hook up. It's very willing to hook up. I haven't looked at the power split. I'm going to go ahead and do that because I love the way the power split is right now. I would not want to change it. It's brilliant. Let's see. Okay. So, 65% balance to the rear. I'm not too surprised about that because the tail will slide around a little bit, but you've also got the front end that'll pull you right back around. I mean, you can go just about full throttle through a lot of these corners after just a tap of the e-brake. You're good to go. I can see this becoming a very popular car online because it's definitely that good. It's good enough to become a popular car online. And it sticks to corners so well, you'd think you were on pavement. You really would think you were on pavement when you're driving this car on dirt. It's that sticky. And then when you get it out onto pavement, it's even crazier because you've got the you've got the handling characteristics that you have on dirt, but you've got even more grip. And the e-brake tricks and everything like that, they still work, but they work at an even crazier level. There we go. You just got to keep it in boost, and as long as you keep it in boost, you're fine. In fact, you're more than fine. You're flying. So much grip. The grip is insane. And the thing is, unless I change the power output, I don't want to mess with the gearing either. I love it. Apparently, I love that tree, too, because I went straight for it. Let's try that again, and not hit a tree this time. And on the brakes. Brakes are ridiculously good in this car. Only thing is, again, with the jumps, it's got that rear weight bias, so it's a little bit funky off of jumps. the rear will always land first, and it'll cause this weird bounce every time you land, and it can be a little bit hard to recover from sometimes. And you can lose a couple, I wouldn't say a couple seconds, but maybe half a second off your time from that little bounce. But other than that, it's a pretty freaking fun car to drive. It's actually a really fun car to drive. I mean, I think it's fun to drive just because of how effective it is. I mean, it's not the kind of car that's going to be all, like, it's not a very playful car, but at the same time, the faster you push it, the more fun it becomes. That's the kind of car this thing is. Because, oh my god, Drivatars. But at low speeds, it's not, you know, it's not going to be that much fun, obviously. But again, like I said, once you start to really get your speed up in this thing, it is pretty incredible. Avoid that Raptor. Yeah, we're fine. We avoided him. We're good. Staying in the power. And the thing is, you find yourself up in 6th a lot of the time. It's really weird, because in a lot of cars, you would not be in 6th gear in any kind of racing situation, unless it's a purpose-built race car like this, which has a transmission that's geared for it, which this one does. And then, oh my god, I love it. Keep saying I love it, but it's true. It's ridiculous. I mean, it just sticks. It's crazy. It just sticks. A little wall tap. Nothing terrible, just a little wall tap. Pulled away from it just fine. Whoop. There we go. Get back in the straight line. And again, the brakes. The brakes are like the biggest thing. I can't get over how good the brakes are, especially on dirt. This has by far the best off-road braking performance I've ever felt of pretty much anything I've ever driven in Forza. I don't think I've ever built anything that had the braking capacities of this car. You can brake so late. So late. I messed that turn up. But yeah, you can brake ridiculously late. And I feel like that's going to play such a huge part in the way people actually use this car online that I feel like it's going to become really popular because of it. Whoop! Oh, God. Can get a little twitchy when you're really pushing it, but I mean, anything up to that point, I mean, you're really pushing it 100% pretty much all the time, but couldn't see anything because of the dust that BRZ was kicking up. I'll just follow the BRZ's dust, and that leads me into pieces of a, I guess, cathedral thing. Columns. Pieces of columns. Destroyed my speed zone score, too. But who cares? This is a car test. I mean, it will just... That's the thing. It's also very pointy. You point it wherever you want it, and it goes. It has no fuss whatsoever about going exactly where you point it. It's weird because understeer and oversteer are both like... You get almost no understeer in this car. You just turn straight in, you get a little bit of oversteer, and then it just pulls itself right back around. I didn't use the handbrake on that turn. I mean, the only time you're going to want to use a handbrake in this car is maybe when you're doing some kind of hairpin or anything really tight. But, I mean, like right here, little tap of the e-brake, and it was almost too much. It threw me into the bushes because it was too much. Little tap of the e-brake, and then just drifts this way all the way around. It is very, very simple. Now, I mean, final verdicts on this thing, I love it. I absolutely adore this car, actually. It is an extremely fun car to drive, and I honestly have a blast driving this car, really. And we're going to go we're actually going to go back to the outpost, and we're going to switch cars. But the catch there is that it is another Beetle, but it's quite a bit older and quite a bit slower, but that doesn't mean it's not just as fun to drive. Well, actually, I take that back. This one is a little bit more fun to drive, but the older Beetle is still actually pretty fun. Here, cars. There. Only thing is you got to scroll all the way back to Volkswagen, and then when you finally get... Never mind. It is the number 1107 Desert Dingo Racing Stock Bug. And if that just doesn't scream character, I don't know what does, because that thing is ridiculous. Just on the looks, it's cool. But when you start to kind of dive deeper into this car, you realize that it's actually quite fun to drive. I would love to do like an online rally where everybody was in stock versions of these. It would just be so much fun. And as you can see right off the bat, it is nowhere near as fast as the GRC Beetle, but let's see if we can give it a quick launch. In fact, no, let's go forward a little bit so we're out of that shadow. Doesn't launch too badly on dirt, but I mean, you're not going to be going that fast. And the thing is, this feels like a snail after driving that GRC Beetle. But either way, it's quite a contrast. And the thing is, the interior is so cool. You've got the tack right there in the middle. You've got pretty much nothing else. You've got these goofy looking mirrors, but other than the mirrors, this thing is really, really cool looks-wise. The steering wheel is really cool. Love the way they did that. And, I mean, you can't really go wrong with a nicely customized off-road classic Beetle. It's just really cool. And apparently, wow, apparently it just couldn't grab traction. I was expecting it to grab traction just like the other one did. And you can't do that, because if you go from one to the other, like, immediately you're going to notice a ridiculous difference. I mean, if we were in the other Beetle right now, in third gear, we'd be doing about 90 through here. 90 or more. Here, oh my god. Jeez. I admit that was kind of my fault, but he pulled out directly in front of me. I mean, seriously, this is like flat on the throttle. This is flat right now. But I kind of feel like that's part of what might make it a little bit more fun. Not more fun than the other Beetle, but just fun in general to race this thing online, just because they're so ridiculously slow. And when you get a massive pack of slow cars online, stuff, I wouldn't want to say it gets crazy, but it just becomes like, I don't know, it's really fun because there's always something happening. Nobody's in something like that's ridiculously fast compared to everybody else. Everybody's like in the same vehicle, so the racing is super close, and you almost feel like you're racing in slow motion sometimes with cars that are this slow. But when you think about it, again, it's still really, really fun. It's just about as fun as in really fast cars. I pretty much did not lift off the throttle in that whole cornering section. That's what makes this car fun, is that you could be 100% everywhere. Like, literally, just 100% everywhere you race this thing. Whoop! I think that was the same... I think that was the same Skyline. I'm pretty sure that was the same Skyline that cut me off earlier. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't check the gamer tag. Is this a jump? It's a miniature jump. It's a miniature jump in this, anyway. Oh, God. I mean, and it'll slide a little bit. It's not going to slide like crazy, but it will slide a little bit. Whoa, excuse me, GTR. Oh my god, that was ridiculously close. That was crazy close. Wall tap. Come on. Oh, come on, come on, come on. It's so slow. Flat on the throttle through this entire corner. Still flat. Still flat. Bet you I could go flat through here, too. Yes, I can, actually. And flat through here. Yep, 100% hard down on the throttle. But either way, both of these cars, I'm extremely glad that they made it into the game. And I'm really liking this pack. In the next video, I'm probably going to cover the 2015 STI and the BMW 850 CSI. Both of those are incredible cars. Love both of them for obviously very different reasons, but Still awesome cars either way. And if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later.